Whoever is most certain wins the sales game, okay? You want to write this down. It is not about trust, it is about certainty. Whoever is most certain wins the sales game. Certainty wins the sales game. If he's certain he's not going to do it, he ain't going to do it. If I'm certain he is going to do it, certainty wins the game. Whoever's most certain wins the game. Elena was less certain about marrying me than I was certain about her marrying me. Had nothing to do with love. You don't need love to close the deal. You need certainty. Half of the people that have done business with me said they would never do business with me. Half the people that follow me today did not like me when they first saw me. One of the number one comments we get is, man, the first time I saw one of your videos, I hated your guts. I keep showing up, they change their mind. How many of you know this saying? You can never change a bad first impression. How many know that saying? It's completely not true. Some of my best customers have come from bad first impressions. I can't control a first impression. Some of you came in the room and didn't like me today when you walked in here. Nothing to do with me. It's about you having a bad day. Okay, now let me flip the page and give you a little certainty. You see how you wrote it down? This is how I would write it down. Number one, you greet the customer. Number two, you qualify the customer. You greet. Hey, that's how long a greeting takes, by the way. If you spend more than 2 seconds on a greeting, Thomas, great to have you here. Appreciate you coming. That's it. It's not about the weather. It's not about politics. People spend so much time in the greeting. Let's build rapport. Rapport is in the second step, in the qualification. How can I help your company? Make him more money. That's what he said. I need to remember that. The qualification process is designed to figure out what to show him and how to close him. This is a rapport building step. I'm taking interest in why he's here. Why do people buy things? Solve a problem. That's the only reason anybody on the planet ever buys any product, to solve a problem. Demonstrate the product, make a proposal, close, follow up. Those are 6 steps. What are they? Greet, qualify, demonstrate, propose, close, follow up. Did I miss anything? Everybody try this. Greet. Greet. Number 1, greet. Greet. Number 1, greet. Greet. Number 2, qualify. 3, demonstrate. 4, make a proposal. Make a proposal. Make a proposal. Number 5, close the deal. Follow up. That's it, man. Look, if you can't remember them, you can't do them.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle.
But you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best.
So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 10 was a success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, focus on real estate.
The thing I like about real estate is I don't need to believe that it's there. I get to see that it's there. I don't need to believe that 95% is occupied. I can take the 100 units and somebody's gonna show me 95 leases. I don't need to believe there's a pool. I can see the pool. You understand? Now, with Wall Street, bond market, checking account, savings account, 401ks, IRAs, I got to believe. This is one of the biggest companies in the world. 3 trillion they're sitting at, and they pay 0.05%. Half of 1%. So when you look at that, and it's a piece of paper, by the way, and that 0.5% is fully taxed to you. Fully taxed, which means if you're in a 50% tax bracket, that's 0.025. That's a quarter of 1%. It will take you 4 years to earn 1% on your money. It would take you 8 years to earn 2%. You get the math here? You got a problem if it's just a dividend you're trying to get. But of course, it's not just a dividend. You're trying to make money on this stock. In the case of the real estate, okay, let's say I put $1 million in Apple stock or $1 million in Bitcoin, whatever the case is. The target's $1 million. I had my last $1 million and I threw it in a deal. It's $1 million, it's 100 grand, it's 10,000. Pick whatever number you want. And I'm looking for a double. This has to go from 174 to 348 to hit a double. How many believe it'll do it at some point? Probably will. Now Bitcoin's at 50, what is it at? 47,000. So for me to double my money there, it's got to go to 94,000. Never been there ever. Probably will go there one day. If both of these get there within a year, I got to pay 50% taxes on that exchange. Everybody agree with that? Somewhere around 50%, 47 something. Okay. If you're in California, it's 63. I could take $1 million, me and a couple buddies. We could buy a $4 million piece of real estate. I'm already at an advantage over Apple and Bitcoin. Why? What's my advantage over those two? 1 million is supported by $4 million worth of assets, okay, that produce cash flow. Even if this thing goes down from 3 million to 4 million down to 3.5 million, even if it was less valuable next week, I wouldn't sell it, by the way. I only got $1 million invested in it, okay? I still get cash flow from that asset. You understand this asset can go down in value and the cash flow could actually go up. Okay, in 2010, assets didn't trade. They didn't trade at all. We talked about this in our VIP lunch yesterday. In 2008, 9, and 10, even 11, the assets would not move, but the cash flow kept getting better. So this $1 million buys $4 million. What do I need to sell this for, this asset for, in order to double my money? That's all I got to do. This has got to be sold for $5 million. If this sells for only $1 million more than I bought it for, I only need it to go up 25%, okay? These two assets over here have to go up 100% for me to make the money I want to make. To get a double, I got to get 100%. To get a double in a real estate deal, I only need that real estate to go up 25%.
Rule number 3, invest for maximum profits.
Advantages of multifamily investing. Number 1, more doors, the easier to manage and fund the project. It's easier, it's just an easier deal. 2 units, harder to manage than 22 units. Because the bigger you get, the farther away you can get from it. 2 units, you need a manager. That manager is going to charge you at least 10 or 12%. Somebody's going to manage the property. Somebody's going to answer the phone calls. $4 grand a month, somebody's going to want at least $400 a month to take the bullshit phone calls. Number 2, all units. 1 location reduces management activity. Number 3, 1 closing, 1 property. I can buy 1 deal, get 300 units. You buy 300 houses, you need 300 closings. 4, 1 financial statement. 300 units fits on 1 financial statement. 1 duplex fits on the same financial statement. Number 5, produce enough revenue to hire a management team. Advantages of multifamily. You can hire a management team. Number 6, produces enough cash flow to invest in CapEx. CapEx, circle this word. It means expenditure on the capital of the building, meaning the capital improvements of the building. Roof, floors, cabinets. How many have done cabinets before? Use graphics. The guy that wraps your cars in your city, say, hey, come wrap my cabinets. I like things done quickly. I bought the house. Elena's not there. I call my wrap guy. Come in here, man. Don't sand it. Don't paint it. Wrap it. Boom, it was done in an afternoon. Number 7, more units allow more amenities. 2 units, you do not have a swimming pool, you do not have security, you do not have a gym. 300 units, you got a gym, you got security, you got trees, you got picnics, you got dog parks, you got great stuff, you got gates. I have properties where the pool at the apartment building is nicer than the pool that we have at our house. And Elena's like, where are you going? I said, I'm going to the pool at the apartment building. I got some apartment buildings, if I was single, I'd move in there. Because they got action everywhere. And the bigger the deal is, the easier it is to add value and spend money on it, right? If I'm gonna spend some money, man, I could spend it across a bunch of stuff rather than 2 units.
Rule number 4, convert money into time.
Why do I love real estate? Why does real estate build financial freedom? Number 1, protects your capital, okay? If I buy this deal, is the cash, the money that I put down to buy this deal, is the money gonna be worth more or less in the future? No, the cash. Cash is worth less in the future. What about this building? Only if, by the way, not all buildings are worth more in the future. If the building's in a good location and it stays occupied and rents can rise, it will be worth more money in the future, okay? I want you to be sure you guys understand this. Not all real estate goes up in value. You think it's good to be liquid. I would encourage everybody in the room to stay illiquid. Wall Street wants you to be liquid. The banks want you to be liquid, okay? The courts want you to be liquid. Your lawyer wants you to be liquid. Because as long as you're liquid, they can grab it from you. You understand? Like if you're liquid, you're never gonna file for bankruptcy. You'll never ever tap into a bankruptcy option. If you don't have a lot of debt, you can't use the bankruptcy courts.
which are put there to protect you from losing everything. Now, I've never filed bankruptcy because my real estate got me through all the hard times. 2000, 2010, 2020, COVID. My apartments got me through when our other business hurt, despite what you guys saw in the news. By the way, when apartment rentals were gonna go to 84%, 70%, the world was gonna go to hell, we collected more rent during COVID than we collected the previous year. Did you even have the courage to borrow money? Because if you don't have the courage to borrow money, you will never have net worth and you will never have a good credit score. Everybody agree? And you don't need to worry about your credit score. How many of you you've been told you need to raise your credit score in order to be free on this planet? No, you need net worth to be free on this planet. Shoes, completely made up. Nobody needs a pair of Fendi's, and my wife does not need 6-inch heels. Everybody agree? Okay? You don't need all that stuff. But we made it up. So you got a product, you got a service, and now we can sell it to people. But you do need a place to live, and you need water, and you need food. Everybody agree? I got to have something over my head to shelter me from the exterior. I need some food, and I need some water. Those things will not change no matter what happens with the internet. Amazon cannot replace housing. It can replace where you get your books. So when I'm watching Blackstone why are they taking currency, converting it to buildings, okay? They take and write a check. They wrote a check for the entire thing, no debt, 10,000 houses. They then waited, filled it up with renters. I'm watching this in 2008, filled it up with renters. And then what they did was they refied the entire process, sold it as bonds to your grandmother. They pay your grandmother like 2.5% to 3.5%. Okay, your grandmother's so happy that every quarter she gets a little freaking bang. They probably worked with AIG to do this, or State Farm, or Allstate, or Prudential, or MetLife, or New York Life. Insurance companies back most of my real estate transactions. Okay, because real estate is that thing that an insurance company can use to depend on to pay for your life benefit.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Rule number 5, stop being afraid.
You got to be in the market. You got to be looking at deals. You got to have confidence. You got to get debt. You got to have cash, okay? Do not use the last 2 as an excuse not to do a deal. Shame on you. If you leave here and you keep blaming, I don't have the money and I don't have the bank. You don't need the money and you don't need the bank. You need the damn deal. To me, interest-only loan is a really great loan to get because you have a stable, one of your greatest expenses is now stabilized completely, meaning the debt will not go up. So if my debt payments are $400,000 a year, they're never gonna change. My taxes will keep changing, my expenses will keep changing, employee payroll will keep changing. I need to secure and stabilize as much as I can. So interest only is not really about the asset class as much as it is about the amount of leverage you use. Anyone can get, as long as you're working with the right lender and the size of the deal is right, almost anyone can get an interest only loan. So if you get down to 50%, you're probably good. You just got to ask your bank, like the lady yesterday said, oh, we don't do interest only. Guarantee you they do interest only. And you shouldn't be scared of interest only. Because what is principal and interest anyway? Principal pay down is like a 2%, a 1.5 pay down over 10 years. Over 10 years, you're going to pay down your debt, maybe 15%. So rather than me putting 65% down, I pay 50% down right now, and it's interest only the whole time. All I'm doing is prepaying my pay down. To get the deal, you need a commitment. You got to have a commitment when you leave here. You got to be like, okay, man, I'm going to take my money. How many of you got cash in the bank right now? You have cash in the bank because you don't have confidence in these deals. I don't have cash in the bank because I trust my real estate more than I do my cash. How many of you got a 401k? Good. That's because you do not understand the value of real estate. Because if you understood the value of real estate the way I do, you would not have a 401k that you can't access for 30 years. How many of you got equity in your home? Excellent. And that just shows me that you do not have complete confidence in the game that I'm telling you right now, because if you had complete confidence in what I'm doing, you would not have equity in your home. You probably wouldn't even have a damn home. You'd have your money sitting in 161 units somewhere, paying you a check every month to make your house payment that you owe money on.
Rule number 6, never compromise.
Hey, I always tell you guys, when you're picking real estate out, make sure that you never compromise location, okay? Look at this location right here. Some of you have been jabbing on me because, Grant Cardone doesn't take his own advice. He went and bought a house in Malibu. He says not to buy a house. Number one, this is not a house. This is a piece of art located in one of the most popular places in the country, and certainly in the state of California. This is beautiful Carbon Beach. It is 150 feet of frontage on one of the most desirable beaches in Malibu. And I'm saying this as humbly as I can. I'm like, guys, look, if you ever get a chance in your life, I'm not just bragging here, I'm just trying to show you, don't compromise location ever. The moment you compromise location, you can fix a lot of things. I can fix the paint. I can fix the interior. This interior of this house is very, very dated. Some people will like the cedar shake, the cottage look. Some people will like that color, not like the color. The doors and windows are dated. They probably need to be changed. The pool at some point needs to be updated. It's 15 years old. Some people will be all right. Some people will be like, I don't like it. It's just a lap pool. But it's 75 feet of a lap pool on Carbon Beach with neighbors that are just on every major list. And it's just one super, super, super desirable little spot in the universe. So when you're picking real estate, doesn't matter how big it is. This house happens to be 10,000 square feet, interiors, 3-car garage, two stories, sits up on caissons that go 60 feet deep into the sand, the granite. To provide it with a space. It's got a 75-foot lap pool on the Pacific Ocean. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous. Can't build it again. If you tried to build this again, it would take probably 5 years if you could get it approved. Probably would not get 10,000 square feet approved again. Would not get the pool approved. And just a fantastic, fantastic location. So for all of you that are out there hearing me say, Grant Cardone doesn't take his own advice. You're right, man. I mean, I'm telling you, I would not. If I was on the come up, just trying to get my game on, just getting started, I wouldn't go buy a house that doesn't provide my best friend cash flow. If it doesn't have cash flow, what am I got to fund it. This house actually could provide me with cash flow. But if it didn't, the location's so ridiculous. If I do the right things with the interior and the colors and the cedar shake, the doors and windows, if I update this pool a little bit, do the right things with the stone, furnish it on the interior in a way that it should be, there's a real good chance I'll make money on this house. Now, you know what I paid because it's been posted all over the internet, what I paid for the house when Real Deal posted it in the Wall Street Journal. Some of you are like, oh my God, he overpaid for this house. How could this guy pay that much money for this house? What do you think I'm going to sell this house for in the future? 150 feet. There's 3 other homes on Carbon Beach that have 150 feet on the ocean. None of it, by the way, is elevated. None of it. Most of it is down on the sand. You got Larry Ellison down the street, Michael Milken. I mean, these are super, super, super wealthy families. Larry Ellison has one home. His son has building a brand new home that they say will sell for $150 million if he ever sells it. Michael Milken's home, they say, is worth $100.5 million. When you are picking your home, it could be an $80,000 home, an $800,000 home, an $8 million home. Stretch. If you're going to do it, stretch and get the best possible location you can. I made this mistake my first 3 homes. I made the mistake believing I'm going to buy for less in a great neighborhood. I knew to buy in a great neighborhood, but I was scared to pay the extra money to be in that little pocket of that neighborhood where the location was literally irreplaceable. So if you're buying a house this year, you're buying an apartment, or you're buying an office building, or you're buying retail or storage, maybe storage less, okay? Make sure you get that kind of location that's irreplaceable.
Rule number 7, know the market.
I am not going to invest with you if you don't know what you're talking about. Where is it? I don't know. What's the job growth? I don't know. What's the rent? I don't know. What's next door? I don't know. What's the NOI? I don't know. Okay, nobody. I'm like, next. Who's serious? Number 3, not knowing your underwriting. You got to know your underwriting. It's better for you when we meet Wednesday night. It's better that you don't know your underwriting with me than when you do it with the bank. You do not want to mess up with the bank. They're not going to forgive you once. One time, they're going to be like, leave this guy alone. They never forgive you for it. You'll never get in their good graces if you mess up with them one time, because they're cowards. That's not their money they're lending. Number 4, you got to buy through every cycle. You cannot wait for the bust out. You got to buy through the good times. You got to buy through the bad times. You got to buy all the time. So before COVID, I was buying. During COVID, I was buying. After COVID, I was buying. So when I'm on a phone call with somebody, I was on a phone call today, I said, guys, they said, what did you buy during COVID? $600 million worth of stuff. They're like, dang, man. Like, it shows tremendous confidence that I can go do a deal through uncertain times. Number 5, buying too small. Buying too small is a problem. It's a headache. It's a pain in the ass, okay? 6, being talked out of deals. Leave the people around you alone. Get somebody that's pro on this thing. Don't talk to your stockbroker or your financial planner. Do not talk to your dentist or your chiropractor about buying real estate. Let them crack your back and then get off the table and go back to buying some real estate. Number 7, not looking at enough deals. These are the mistakes you're going to make. You're not going to look at enough deals. You're going to look at a couple and quit. Keep looking at deals. They're going to stack. The information is going to stack. I remember one of my jobs was I was in a produce department in Lake Charles, Louisiana, in a grocery store. And I was telling Jared about produce the other day. I hated this job. The guys tell me, look, man, when the bananas get some bruises on them, you got to move them to the front. I didn't know I was learning something. Fast forward 50 years. When an event's getting close to being expiring, move that event to the front. You understand? As you're losing time because your product's gonna get bruised and expire, move it to the front. Like, I didn't know when I was 16 years old that I was learning when I was stacking the shelves and they taught me how to stack the Cheerios and the Brillo pads and the Tide. And they told me how to pull it to the front, keep it squared up. I didn't know I was learning to pack and control my environment. When you look at a lot of deals, this deal is going to teach you about that deal, is going to teach you about that deal, is going to teach you about that deal. And then one day you're going to be like, this deal right here is sick because of these deals. And you're going to know for sure because you knew those, because these gave you the data you needed to buy that one, okay? One deal can what? Number 8, I need to write a book. One deal can change your life.
Rule number 8, reduce the drama.
So I want to give you a list of things to drop your drama.
No drama!
Reduce your risk. How many of you'd like to never lose money on a deal? Check off most of this list and you won't lose money on a deal. Number 1, is the location good? The better the location gets, the better off you are. I should have asked Robert that. Would you rather pay a higher price for a better location or a lower price for a worse location? I think I know what he would tell me. Is it affordable? Affordable to who? To the tenant, not to you. You're not buying a box of groceries here. Is it affordable to the tenant based on what else I can buy in that area? Okay, New York City rents should be higher than Miami rents. Okay, if I'm at Fifth Avenue, right, and every condo is $12 million, and I can rent there for $5,500 a month for a little tiny apartment, or if I go to Silicon Valley and people are being paid $250,000 to work at Facebook as an intern, I can pay $9,000 a month in rent. And those rents, by the way, you have 1970 built product. It was built in 1970. Elena, were you born in 1970? She wasn't even born yet. And there's apartments that were built in 1970, 52 years old, that rent for $9,000 a month. One bedroom, 800 square feet, old ass kitchen, bad floors, bad cabinets, leaky faucets that rent for $9,000 a month. And somebody bought those years ago. I guarantee you they probably only paid $9,000 for the unit. And every month they collect another $9,000 if they've been there long enough. Okay, so it could be affordable, right? Even though it's $9,000. You take the rents in Miami at $1,500, $2,800, anywhere in between $1,500 and $2,800. You take that same asset, you take that and transport it to New York City. Those rents are $25,000 a month. Take the same property, push it to Singapore. Singapore rents are 80% higher than the United States of America. And you guys complain about the rents. You guys complain about the rents because the locals never change the market. You want to write this down. The locals never change the market, the outsiders do.
Rule number 9, master your craft.
Why are apartments superior? This is what I want you guys to hear. My flipper friend in Austin, the gentleman with the Cardone Capital hat. Number 1, housing is a basic need. Number 2, apartments are an economic preferred choice. Number 3, apartments are the preferred choice of housing today. People want to rent as an option. They want the mobility and the freedom to do so, okay? Number 4, it cannot be easily replaced. These 300 unit complexes that you're seeing being built in the Raleighs and the Carolinas, all across the eastern seaboard. Once it's there, they're gonna build another one across the street. Sooner or later, it's all gone. Houston, Texas, this year, consumed 50% of all their inventory, their apartment inventory, in the first 5 months of the year. This is called absorption. Absorption is how fast new units are being consumed, okay, or purchased. They can't be easily replaced. What happens if inflation happens to glass, metal, lumber? We've had like crazy lumber inflation. What about, I can't get workers to build a 300 unit complex. The housing manufacturers, they're not building houses anymore. They're building apartment complexes. Number 5, it has the potential to produce and provide cash flow for the investors. Number 6, bankable asset, very, very easy to get debt on, way easier than most every other asset class. Number 7, it's got a multiplier effect. 2 things on the multiplier effect, if you're taking notes. 1, rents can go up, okay, and the leverage from the property. This is the multiplier effect. So if these rents go up $200 or $300 or $3,000, whatever number you want, the rents go up times 12, times 10, if you're gonna hold for 10 years. And what if they keep bouncing? Is there any chance the rents are gonna go up? The first property I bought was in San Diego, California, 1998, okay? We were moving the rents $200 and $300 every month. Leverage able assets, okay? You wanna make a note here. To create wealth, you wanna buy assets that appreciate in value enough, refinance those assets at new, higher valuation, pull out all their equity to create a non-taxable event, meaning I could get $50 million and not pay taxes, and still own assets. So if I can just play this game one building at a time, I get a building, wait 3 or 4 years, increase the rents, get my money out, keep the building. Next, go add another building with the money that I got from the first building. You with me? And I just keep moving up, creating wealth for yourself. You cannot create wealth without investing. Doesn't matter how hard you work. Number 9, you have multiple exits on this stuff. I could sell it, I could refinance it,
That's called an exit, no exit. Grab my money, but I don't exit the property. Okay, number 10, historic doubles every decade. Apartments double every 10 years in Florida. Every 10 years, to a $1 million deal doubles, 2 million. It's exceeded any of our expectations. It's just beautiful.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is start with small deals.
When you start looking, when you go from doing a $3 million deal where I started, my first deal was 1.9 million, to looking at $1 billion deals, you're gonna take the same trajectory, I promise you. I'm blessing you guys right now. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna start with little deals. If you listen to me, you'll skip those, but you can start there if you wanted to. You wanna eat Cheerios, you can, okay? Or you could just like, hey, let me go get the good stuff right now. I'm gonna eat off the top of the shelf right now. You just gotta have imagination, right? And not be limited to like, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the connections, I'm not in the environment, I don't know these people. Good, well, you're gonna get to know these people. If I know them, you can know them. And so when we have this trapped equity, I'm trying to do these big deals, and I'm like, I don't have the money to do them. So I want you to write this down. What do you have? Not what you don't have. What do you have, right? The question needs to go from, not I can't do it to how can I do it? Not what I don't have, what do I have? And or who has it? So we basically made a list. Who's got this money? Okay, without me selling my properties, because I do not want to sell my properties. Because if I sell my properties, I'm just going back to zero. I could sell the whole portfolio right now. I'm just gonna go back to zero and have to start over again. I don't want to start from zero. I want to just add to what I have, right? So we made a list. We started talking to guys in the brokerage business. You gotta get a mortgage broker. This guy, Pravesh, is a mortgage broker. How many have we been through, Ryan? How many names do you have? Pravesh?
8 or 9.
Yeah,
in the last 2 years.
Dude, never rely on one bank or one lender. You want more lenders than you got kids and wives and husbands. This is polygamy. Okay? So we just started making a list of lenders. We started out with I started with a regional bank. I started with a local bank, San Diego National Bank in San Diego. They're out of business. They collapsed in 2010. They were taken down by the federal government. They were replaced by another group. The federal government gave a group in Minneapolis $500 million to buy the bank out. It's basically a takeover, a hostile takeover by the federal government, seizing property. The guy that owned the bank had $300 million he could put in the bank to fund the bank in 2010, and the federal government said, no, we're gonna give $500 million to a guy in Minneapolis to buy you out. And it was federal money, tax dollars. Your money was funded to another guy, the club. They took this other guy out. I owed $50 million to the bank in San Diego. When the new bank came in, the new bank said, you need to pay your loans off. I'm like, pay my loans off? Yeah, you're in violation. You have technical default. I've never missed a payment in my life. Oh yeah, but the asset values because of 2008 have collapsed. So, and your net worth has changed. And the world has changed. I'm like, yeah. And by the way, because you pay us is why we're here. We know you can pay, we know you have money. And I had a bunch of money sitting in a bank account, and they wanted to grab that money. That's what they wanted. Okay? The guys that didn't have money, they never called them. And I learned in 2010, I'm like, hey, don't have a bunch of money sitting around. You got money sitting around? They're gonna come get that money. When the world goes to hell, they go after people that have money, not people that don't have money. You want debt. You want lots of it. So when I had 50 million in debt, what I learned in 2010 was I don't have enough debt. I said, the next time this happens, I'm gonna have $2 billion. I'm gonna sink a ship. Okay? They're gonna have to pay attention to me. Because if you're not big enough, they're not gonna pay attention. Too big to what? Exactly, you guys need to get too big to fail. Don't hate on the system, man. Don't hate the game, don't hate the player. Learn the game and be a player.
My wealth ultimately is not the money I have, it's the knowledge I have and the belief I have in myself. The same thing for you. But I want to take you on this trip because, look, number one, you got to visualize it. You got to be able to see it in your mind like possibility. Second thing is you got to see it, in the physical universe. You can explain to me what a bougainvillea is. You can explain to me what a beach is. You can explain to me what the gym looks like on the second floor in Cabo San Lucas at this beautiful hotel we're at. But until I visually, physically put an image to the ocean, to the whales, to the sunshine, to the mountains, until I visually see it, it doesn't become real. Third thing you want to do, number one, see it in your mind. I was doing a call today with Percy Miller, Master P. And he's like, first thing you got to do is see it in your mind. He grew up in extreme poverty in the projects. And he says, Grant, the first thing I had to do was I had to see it in my mind that I could get out. Second thing I had to do was see a picture of it in the physical universe. That's how valuable the internet is today, is that you get to see things that maybe are way outside your price range. You can see the Lambo, the Rolls, the big house, the trip. You can see the possibility of Elon going to Mars, and all of a sudden all those things expand possibilities. So number one, you got to see it in your mind. Two, you got to see it in the physical universe. And this also includes other people, examples of other people that are doing great things. I'm not just talking about physical manifestation. I'm not talking about stuff. I'm not talking about watches and bracelets and rings and houses and cars. I'm talking about how can you actually manifest something in the real world that you have in your mind? How do you turn an idea into reality? And these things that I'm sharing with you will make it a possibility. When you dig deep on them, though, it's like, okay, well, how do I get closer to people that are doing those things? Because the third thing is you got to get closer to the thing you want. If you want a Gulf Stream, or if you want to solve the water problem on planet Earth, you're going to have to get closer, physically closer, step on, not just see with your eyes in a magazine or on the internet. You need to put your feet in the sand, put your feet on the jet. Now, that might mean that you got to go fuel jets for a while. You got to go work at an aviation company, an airport, and actually fuel them, clean them, wash them. Maybe you got to be a flight attendant on them. Put your feet next to them. Maybe you have to become a pilot. You're going to have to pay the price, though. There's no free lunch here for anybody, including my children. There's no free lunch. There's no way to know what this room feels like, the expansiveness of this room, by looking at it on the internet. The moment you can get in it, it'll become even more real to you. The fourth thing is you got to put your feet in this deal. You got to put your feet in this deal. There's a horse down there. You can visualize a horse. You can see the horse. You got to touch the horse. And the fourth thing, you got to touch the horse. And the fourth thing is you guys got to collaborate with other people, man. You got to get in the room with other people, whether you're serving water. If they don't invite you to sit down, then offer them money to sit down with them. If that doesn't work, offer to serve them to sit down. Okay, this is a story of my life could be wrapped up in these four things right here. Number one, see it in my mind. Number two, see it in the physical universe, like see it in some, not physical, but in metaverse, on the internet, in a magazine, a picture of it. Third, get closer to it. Put your feet on it, on the plane, on the horse, on the beach, in the hotel. If I got to go work there to do it. And the fourth thing is you got to network with people that have stuff. Okay. Again, I spent some time this week with Dame Dash. She's like, look, you got to get close to the action. You got to get with the people that are making the moves. You cannot make the moves from your own neighborhood. Percy Miller told me you cannot make the moves from the projects. You got to move from the projects, not make the moves in the project. Quit working street corners. Quit selling just a product and start hanging out with people that have scaled their ideas into a reality. You have to prepare for inflation hitting you. And look, I just want to give you a heads up on this thing. It's happening right now. I believe we're already in a recession, not to be a doomsday guy, because I think that there's ways for you to take advantage of this. But I just passed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shops, and nobody's in them. So the American consumer has like $18 trillion between cash accounts and money markets. You can't get negative right now when you see the bad news. This is an opportunity for you and your family to actually expand, not contract. So you're going to see bad news in the headlines everywhere. Once the politicians start allowing the mass media to actually distribute the bad news, and we're not talking about Ukraine and COVID, we're not talking about abortion rulings, because all that is just distraction for the bigger problem, which is the economy. The economy is problematic, okay? You got the Fed pushing interest rates, 0.5 point yesterday. There was a rebound in the stock market. This morning I wake up, the stock market rolls over by 1,000 points, okay? There's going to be blood in the market. So I'm gonna do a training on this. I'm gonna give you a few tips right now, but I'm gonna give you a link to a training for those of you who actually wanna do something about this and not just hear the bad news and be woken up. First thing is you gotta wake up. You gotta wake up to what's happening. You gotta know that, hey, what do I do now? What do I do if this happens? 1, do not buy into the bad news. Okay. 2, you got to expand into the opportunity, and it's very, very difficult to do. You've heard of wealthy people doing this before, how they take advantage of situations. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do that, whether you have cash or no, you don't have cash, whether you have credit or don't have credit. Because during times of contraction, what happens is, for instance, there's 32 million small businesses in America. Many of you are going out trying to start a new business where what you ought to do is just kind of slide sideways and go buy one, the neighbor next door to you. I mean, from laundromats to plumbers to internet businesses to coaching businesses, you name it, chiropractors, dentists, like in every sector that you're involved in right now in your business or your interest or your passion, I'll promise you, there are thousands, not 1 or 2, but thousands of small businesses like yours that are similar to your passion, that would feed your passion, that already have branding, already have marketing built in, already have a name, already have a location, already have revenue, already have credit lines that you can literally just slide into. Okay, but you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that if all you're doing is buying into bad news. So number 1, you can't buy into the bad news because remember, all bad news, sooner or later, is beat out by the need to survive and the economy to go on. The economy will always go on, okay? Not just here in America, but around the world. Always, 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 we always get on the other side of bad news. So the first thing to do is you got to keep your head out of the garbage dump. You got to stay positive. And trust me, when it goes negative, it is not easy to stay positive. People always like, oh yeah, I can stay positive on my own. Probably not, because you're not going to be on your own. You're going to be surrounded by bad news everywhere. So number 2, you got to think about how do you expand despite the fact that you don't have money and you don't have credit, or you do have money and you do have credit, but you don't want to use either one because you're terrified, and you will be. The third thing you have to figure out to do, okay, is exactly what sectors will survive long term. What sectors are going to win through contractions? Because what happens in a contraction, what happens is weak businesses get squeezed out, weak names get squeezed out, okay? Weak operators get squeezed out, and the strong come in and take over that. Either the technology takes over and disrupts the space, or a person, typically a person or an operator comes in and then scales that business. Now, what I'm going to look to do here in the next couple of years is actually accelerate my expansion. Accelerate my expansion because I know how to operate. I know the 4 things you have to do in a business to make a business successful. There's only 4 things you must do to keep a business 1, profitable, 2, expanding, and 3, flourishing. There's 4 things and only 4 things, okay? I don't have time right now because I'm with my family, but when you click the link below, what I'll do is I'll give you a free training on those 4 things that you have to do. Look, you'll get through this. I promise you, you're going to get through this. The question is, you're going to get through it, and you're going to do great. You're going to flourish and prosper. You're going to be like these businesses, waiting for traffic. It's not about getting the right answer. It's about being able to use the information in the right situation. And so you have to go into a situation knowing something's going to be stable, particularly in an environment where there's a lot of variables. And we live in an environment right now with a lot of variables, with COVID, the mask, the election coming. Who knows? There's a million different things going on out there. You cannot add another variable to that many variables. So the thing that you need to do is you have to be the stable person in an environment where there's a lot of craziness going on. I had so many people tell me, well, it depends on the situation. No, dude, you need to be the same person every time, regardless of the situation.
Because if you try to change to that's the problem with this whole adapting thing. If you're gonna adapt to every situation that happens in life, you'll never become anything. Because you'll just be a chameleon 1 second, and then a tiger the next second, and then a kitty cat the next second, and then roadkill the next. You'll just become whatever is going on in the environment, and you'll never become strong, the strong you should be. And this disparity in America, particularly in America and around the world, the disparity between the people that have something and everybody else is getting bigger and bigger. If you don't like the way that is, if you don't like the way that game's working out, you need to improve your skill set so that you can go get yours for you and your family. Because it's out there. I'm just telling you, the opportunity's out there. It's whether you want to open your eyes, be conscious the whole time, go look at it, and figure out how do you get your share of the American dream.
How many in your room are broke right now? You're broke. You're like just dead broke. Like if I went and banged on your credit card, it would scream and call the police. No, alert 911, call them out right now. This cannot be used again. That's fine, dude, that's fine. You still need to have your dreams. You need to start dreaming now. How old are you, dude? 22 years old. You got any money at all? But he's got a little diamond in his ear, right here. He ain't got any money, but he's like, look at this shit. I'm shining. Huh? I'm shining. Come here, man. Yeah, come here, man. Come here. I'm shining. I got a little cubic. Come on up here, man. 22 years old, man. 22 years old. You know what I was doing every day? 22 years old. What do you weigh, man? How much you weigh? Oh, you got one in both ears. Look at this. Get a close up. Can you get a close up? Look at that, man. Oh, he's so cool. He's so cool. Look, he looks good too, man. He looks good. Okay, look. How much money do you have to your name?
Probably like 1,000 at the
$1,000. What? No,
I feel like $1 million though.
Yeah. Either way, bro, you're broke. You agree with that?
Oh yeah.
You're broke. You guys need to admit it. You need to know when you're broke. The man's got $1,000. Right? He goes to jail today. He's broke. So but that does not mean you can't dream. So right now, what he's gonna do is his dreams are gonna be like, okay, man, like I just wanna get a $2,000, or I just wanna get some of these, or I wanna get a watch. Dude, that's not the dream, folks. You know, when you were a kid, 12 years old, what do you want? You want a car. I can't wait till I get a car. You don't think about, I'm gonna own a car dealership. You think, I want a car. You don't think, hey man, I'm gonna make a new car that flies. Right? See, that's why he ended up with these little cubics. Because his dreams aren't big enough. Get off the stage. Okay, but he's in the right place. He's in the right place, everybody agree?
The thing is not to just be positive, not even to offer this no negativity policy that I talk about. The way to avoid negative and distracting people, man, is to vibrate at a rate so fast, okay, that you're out in front of them. Once I got a speeding ticket, actually here in Miami, and the police officer says, why are you speeding? Why are you in such a hurry? I'm like, dude, I'm trying to stay away from the crazies, okay? If I can just get ahead of everybody else, I'm not distracted by anybody but guys like you. And your job is to stop me, but the truth is their job is to stop me, distract me, and cause me to turn around and stop my mission. See? So I got my ticket and moved on and went to the head of the pack again. See, this is what I'm telling you, man. Look, if you want to not be bogged down by negative, distracted people, you need to take responsibility that you're slowing down enough to get caught up by this magnetic charge of distractive and negative people. Dude, you need to vibrate so fast that these people are distracting other people, not you. Get way ahead of the crowd. Get so busy that nobody's gonna jack with you, man, because you're filling up your pipeline, you're full, you're busy, and you don't have this stuff sticking to you. Look, if you got negative people around you, if you got distracted people, and we all do, but if it's causing you to be distracted and negative, dude, you need to vibrate. You need to fill up your pipeline. You need to explode, blow up, get busy, so this isn't happening to you because you're partly responsible. Fill your pipeline up.
This isn't a magic act. These are basic skills. And basic skills are duplicatable. And the reason most salespeople have such trouble is because for years we have been trying, sales professionals and the gurus have been teaching manipulation tactics. Dodge the question, don't answer, control the customer, the whole neurolinguistics bull. These are gimmicks. We have never hired one person that had a neurolinguistics background that worked for us successfully. So you guys that are in the NLP stuff, I'm just telling you, we've hired hundreds and hundreds of salespeople. I've been with tens of thousands of salespeople. I have never seen one person that got into this neuro bull that was a successful salesperson over long periods of time and did not bring drama to our organization. I don't want drama, dude. I want production. So when he sits a certain way, I don't start thinking about, man, imagine me in a sales presentation. I'm like, I got to be like him, and then now I got to be like her, and now I got to be like him. Guess who you can't be when you're doing that? You, man, what a diss. I want to be me. The power resonates for me, my truth, my authenticity, and my transparency. Okay, so if you can't do that, you can't build a business, and you certainly can't duplicate it. I never ask him to be me. I'm like, hey, bro, when somebody says that the payments are too high, what do you do? What do you say? Well, I'm with you. Everybody try that. No, I didn't say it like that. I said, I'm with you. See, and I'm with you. Hey, man, hey, the price is too high. I knew that before you did. Everybody try that. Okay, see, he gets to be him, but the words will work because all I'm doing is basically agreeing with the customer. This isn't a trick here, okay? This course is, I'm doing a dinner tonight for $25,000 at my house, okay? I think we got 2 slots left. The entire $25,000 goes to the Grant Cardone Foundation. Any of you want to put 25 grand in? Please, see one of my people, come have dinner at my house. We'll spend a couple hours over there. The money's going to go to help kids. Some of you in the room immediately say, oh my God, 25 grand. That's a lot of money. Man, I know that. You don't think I know $25,000 is a lot of money? I'm the one that decided what the freaking entry would be. I said, what would be too much? 25 grand. 25 grand would be a lot of damn money. Somebody gonna be like, that's a lot of money. Okay, and the people that it's a lot of money, that think small, that go small and don't wanna help, won't come to my house and have dinner. And the people that are like, dude, I'd go spend 2 hours with that cat, man, for 25 grand to get pictures with him at his new home, with his family, with 8 or 10 other people, and the money's going to charity, and I get to write it off. I get to bang the IRS. Who hates the IRS? Well, this is a chance to give them a good. Okay, so you see what I'm doing? I'm handling all the objections right now. I understand 25 grand's a lot of money, man. I know what you got to do to earn 25 grand. You got to do crazy stuff to earn 25 grand. And if you keep thinking that, earning 25 grand is always going to be a problem for you. Hopefully for everybody in the room, one day you're going to be able to earn 25,000 every hour. 12 years ago, we had done maybe, $20 million over the internet. We've done over $1 billion in sales over the internet in the last 12 years. Okay? Thank you. Like, you guys got to learn how to use enthusiasm. Like, when you use it, use it. Like, the more you use, the more you get. You're like, I'm gonna save my energy now. I don't want to give him too big a hand too early. It's really early today. Come on. Look, man, when somebody's successful, you ought to throw down. That's what I'm talking about. See, y'all got to quit trying little tricks and gimmicks. Like, if you got to walk on fire to get excited, you are up. Like if you can't at will, whenever you want to, for any reason, just get excited, then you got a problem, okay? Because in the real world, you can't be in the middle of a meeting and I'm trying to get her to give me like $100 million and I'm feeling a little depressed or bad right now, or I got my attention on my kids and I'm like, okay. Everybody's gonna be like, nah, we weren't gonna give you the 100 until you started pumping your chest. Right? You can't say, hang on a second, man, I got to go into a state change.
Like, that's not real. You guys understand? You have to be able to, that's a gimmick. And gimmicks take time, okay? And gimmicks cannot be duplicated. What can be duplicated are disciplines. And that's what we're gonna be sharing with you over the next 3 days. Disciplines can be duplicated. If you've seen my children, okay? How many of you seen Sabrina and Scarlett? Oh yeah. Those are disciplines, okay? If they were in here right now, they could get on that stage and talk to you. They know how to look you in the eyes. They know how to shake your hand because they have been taught how to communicate. We spend less time on teaching them how to count than we do communicate, connect with people, okay? We have them homeschooled. The homeschool teacher, what do you want them to learn? You just keep teaching them what I'm teaching them. You teach them confidence. You teach them poise. You teach them the ability to communicate. Be dangerous, not careful, okay? We teach our kids how to be dangerous. I teach my kids how to meet strangers and greet strangers. We teach our kids that strangers have everything they want and strangers are not dangerous, okay? Is there danger in the society? Yeah, that's what those guys are for over there. So I'm gonna put my kids in an environment where they can meet 99% of the people and feel safe to meet them, talk to them, communicate with them. So I want to make sure that my kids can walk into an environment and have zero concern about him, her, or him. And they can walk out and say, hey, I want to meet you, because strangers have everything that you want. The people you don't know and haven't met. These guys dressed in their robes. What do you call the robes? The Condor, okay? I have one in my closet, by the way. I love the Condor. I put the Condor on one time and I was like, I'm a bad, bad man. Dude, I felt so freaking powerful. It was amazing, okay? I grew a beard. I'm like, now I'm a man, okay? Give me a camel. Okay, it was like phenomenal, right? Like, but you guys need to have that kind of swag everywhere in life. And regardless of how old you are, 25 and you're like, I'm too young to have swag, or 55 and now you're too old, it's not true. You just need to get the confidence, the bravado, not fake it. You don't need to fake it. You need to get confidence. If I could get rid of this right here in life, if I could get rid of these downs, man, how confident would I be? I mean, like, I'm going into every deal, I'm gonna win. And that is possible, folks, okay? But it starts with, who knows me? Because if I'm walking around this planet and nobody knows me, I'm gonna be terrified.
Man, did you hear that the person that won the lottery, I got 2 points to make here. The person that won the lottery is 84 years old. Her name is Gloria McKenzie here in Florida. She'll pay no state taxes on that winning. I keep telling you guys, move to a tax-free state so that your income's not taxed. And hey, if you win the freaking lottery, $380 million freaking dollars, you wouldn't be taxed at 10 or 13%. What are you thinking, man? The second point here is this. This woman would not have won this lottery ticket had it not been for the guy in front of her being so gracious to look at 84 and say, hey, lady, you want to go in front of me? I guess he was worried that she'd die before she could buy the ticket, okay? Folks, in my book called If You're Not First, You're Last, I basically explain, look, man, if you're first in line, you don't give it up to an 84-year-old. I know that might sound, without compassion and uncaring and not sensitive. Hey, when you're buying a lottery ticket, get in, get out as quick as possible. If you're not first, you're last. In this case, I hope 84 gives this guy a little squeeze of the cheese, please. Let's find out how gracious 84 is with her 380 to the guy that got out of line to get her in the line to buy the ticket that won the money where she don't pay any state taxes in Florida.
Be a better guy, man. I mean, just be a good guy and be the thing I'm proud of is I get to be Grant all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm actually getting to the point where I'm like, hey man, I finally got to be what I finally became what I wanted to be.
What was that?
Me.
Yeah.
That I don't have to apologize anymore, and then I quit screwing up, and I quit having to call people and say, hey man, I went too far, If I could just pull some of that back without that drug that psychiatrist was trying to use.
Right.
That if I'm less dependent upon aggression, and I could kind of manifest more, you know, like you talk about.
Let it flow more.
Let it flow, dude. Let it flow, you know, but if I could get that perfect balance of aggression and flow.
That's a sweet spot, yeah.
It's sweet, dude. It's hard to find that thing.
That's a sweet spot.
You know, to be that, I don't want to be the little stream that drips. You know, I want to be like, but I don't want to damage anybody.
Right.
I don't want to hurt anybody. You know, I don't want to be in competition anymore. But I also don't want to lose the edge.
Right.
You know,
it's a dance,
dude. It's a dance.
It's a dance, man.
You know, like your girl said to me the other night. She's like, she said something before she left. She's like, I really get who you are. You know, that hits me when people say that to me. Most people don't get who I am.
That's beautiful.
You know, and she said, I really get who you are.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And sometimes it hurts, right? Because I know who I really am.
Yeah.
But I also know the things I'm trying to accomplish for me. You know, like Ryan gets who I am. You know, Ryan never takes me on. Man, you're the best, Grant. You're the best. he strokes me right through it. And you know, my wife, I can see my wife. She gets tired of the pounding. You know, but hey, man, I just, you know, I'm a right-handed hitter. You know, or I got a certain ball that I throw, a certain shot I make, and it's my go-to. You know, and when I get threatened, I'm going to go to that. And if I could develop some other set of skills, you know, that would be a cool thing.
I'm 63 years old. You know, I'll be 64 in March, and you know, I feel like I'm like 14 years old, man. I'm like, let's roll, like let's go. I'm ready to run through walls and, you know, fly and learn new stuff. I'm studying cryptos right now and the metaverse and like what happens and when do I make a play and do I make a play and what is all this? So number one, you have to stay curious. Number one, curious. You have to be curious. When Clubhouse came around, Clubhouse is an audio app, if you don't know what that is. A couple of years ago, most of the people in my office, including Jared, was like, man, ain't nothing, there's nothing there. You know, I'm like, oh, there's people there though. There's people there. And what I discovered, because I was curious about Clubhouse, is not because I was curious about social media. I was curious about people. To me, I get energy from people. And so I've been in rooms where Alan, have y'all met Alan yet? So Alan saw me go in a room one night and he texted me. He's like, what the hell you doing in this room, man? And I said, well, what's up? He's like, get out of this room. And I said, what you worried about? He's like, you're the only white person in the room and the title is White Entitlement. And he sends me a little sweaty emoji. I said, bro, how am I going to learn about white entitlement with white people? Like, you got to be curious, folks. Just because it has nothing to do with you doesn't mean your market's not there. And for me to be able to market to a market means I need to understand how that market thinks. So one of the great benefits of me being curious, particularly about two-way communication on social media, the feedback. I'm not looking for likes and comments. I'm looking for something, some electricity in the moment. What you're talking about, the drive, potential, an idea. Like all my ideas come from, I don't fabricate ideas. Everything you see me do happened. It was happening already in the universe. I don't create anything. I just grab something that's already there. And I grab it out of something I hear. So the Supreme Court today announced they kicked out the mandate for the vaccine. I'm like, hey man, okay, good. You like it or don't like it. Y'all need to get on one side of that story and start talking to people about it so you gain that audience. You need, oh, I don't want to be political. See, that's stupid, man. You know, there's nothing that raises more money than politics. Nothing. There's nothing. And most of it's just a scam. And everybody knows it. They're like, I'm throwing in. They ain't throwing in for their side. They're throwing in to keep the other side that they're worried about. The point of the story is there's energy there. There's tremendous amounts of energy that you want to tap into. If you could walk the line and play both of them, that'd be super cool. Very difficult to do that, though. So when that came out today, I'm like, good job, man. Like, I got to take a stand on that. Now, will I lose some people? 100%. I don't care who I lose. There's 8 billion people on this planet. I'm worried about who doesn't know me. So the way to protect your brand is to expand it. That's the only way to protect your brand.
What are you willing to give up? You guys got to keep assessing the situation and not be broad stroke about it and say, oh, I'm not going to be a dilettante, or I'm going to be a professional. I'm not going to. No, but what are you going to give up? There are times, though, again, when I will give up that agreement. See, like one of the things I have on here, being right. You have to give up being right. You know, you can't want to be right and be successful. They don't even go together. It's impossible. So again, I'm willing to give up being right. I just don't quit, man. If you don't quit, you can't fail. It's impossible. Failure becomes impossible for those that don't quit. It's impossible. Just think about it. If I keep moving towards the destination, if I'm going through the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, dude, if you just keep going all the way to Z, you finish the alphabet. You break your leg along the way, somebody cuts your tongue out, you get waterboarded, you get a divorce, you lose your dad, you lose a puppy. If you get to Z, you finish the alphabet. Period. And boy, when I heard that, I'm like, God damn, what was I thinking? I was thinking I could fail. I can't fail if I don't quit. So that means I got to dump people out of the car though along the way, right? But we had to get rid of a whole bunch of people. I have to get rid of people. How many people have gone, Johnny? I mean, guys, like if you saw the wreckage, like so much, you don't see it, you know? I'm not saying get rid of people. I'm just saying like what are you willing to give up? Okay, on my list, I've given up a house, I've given up money. I gave up my retirement accounts. I had millions of dollars sitting in retirement accounts. I paid the penalty to get the money because it was a mistake years ago. I got convinced by the banks to build an IRA or a 401k because I was trying to figure out how to exit. Actually, the people that were giving me the advice were telling me to figure out how to exit. You're planning an exit when you're 30, and it's stupid. Think about what you're doing. You're not going to retire until you're 70. And the rich people never worry about their retirement accounts. Warren Buffett has not got a 401k. He's got Coca-Cola. See the difference? See the difference in the think? Okay? So like you guys have to take a look at what you know that is now a liability. What you know to be true that has become a liability for you. And if you just study the middle class of America, study the entire structure of the American economy, you will see where a lot of these liabilities exist that are core values that you have, not just for you, but for the entire population of people. And like if you just look at the structure of America, 311 million people, most of them are not doing well. You hear about it every day. So the solution is let's give everybody college. You know, let's give everybody college. Well, college could be one of the problems. Look, you know, let's make sure everybody gets through high school. Okay, could be one of the problems actually, that it takes 12 years to learn how to count. And still no product, really. So anyway, I'm not saying, I'm not worried about trying to change all that. I'm just saying you might want to look at how some of that has influenced you. You know, the retirement accounts, the life insurance. How many of you got life insurance? How many of you got some cash value sitting there, some hope? Dude, get the money. Don't wait till you die. All commitments require investments in time and money. All commitments. You cannot make a commitment without time and money being invested. Time and money has to be invested. You have to invest time and money. If it's not on your schedule, you're not committed. If you don't have money backed by that time on your calendar, if it's not costing you money, or you don't have money deposited right there, you are not committed. Where you have your money is where your personal, spiritual, emotional, physical commitments go. Wherever your money is who you are most committed to. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank. You guys, many of you got more money at Wells Fargo than you have invested in your own advertising and marketing. Because you guys are committed to the lie. The big marketing scam of the universe. Save your money. Save your money. What you should do is you should get a good job. First of all, you should avoid borrowing money.
unless it's for something that we think is good for you. Right? So, first of all, you should not borrow money unless it's one of our credit cards, where we give you points. And one day, you too will be able to stay at a Holiday Inn for free. Where, by the way, the buffets at the kitchen are free. You can eat all you want, not to mention that you're already overweight, but you could go there and eat all you want, for as long as you want, by the way. If you just borrow enough money on this card to buy enough stuff you don't need, to pay us back one day if you can, right? And then during the week when you're not borrowing money from us, what you should do is spend your time getting money to pay for the bullshit belt that you bought and put on your credit card that you can't write off, by the way. So this is what Americans are doing. People all around the world spend 40 hours a week running around, hustling. Hey, could I go buy it? Yeah, they get $100. What do they do now? They run over here to the bank, drop off the $100. Then they run back out, do another 40 weeks, pick up $1,000. Man, I had a great week, didn't I? Bang! And then they run over here and drop it off at the bank. These are the good Americans. The bad Americans go pick up $1,000, go to the club and blow it. The good Americans run around collecting $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. Hustlers, man, hard workers. They get sophisticated. I'm gonna put a little money in the bank over here at Wells Fargo. I'm gonna have a little over here at Citibank. I'm gonna spread this around. I wanna be a slave to many, not a slave to a few. I'm gonna give a little to Bank of America. I'm gonna give a little bit to Citibank. I'm gonna give a little bit to the Wells Fargo. I'm gonna give a little bit to Fidelity and Merrill Lynch. I'm gonna give a little bit to my IRA and my 401k. I'm gonna bust my ass. I'm gonna spend 40 years killing myself to make sure all these institutions have my money, where they pay me nothing for the sake of security. Right? And then you guys look up one day and you're like, where's my money at? It's in all these accounts. By the way, what do those people do with your money when they get it? They call me up. Hey, Mr. Cardone, we got another dummy. Guy he must have spent 160 hours, put together a little bank, extremely disciplined, dumbass. And he saved $100,000 with us. And we'd like to know, Mr. Cardone, if you would like to borrow that money. His money. Yeah, I sure would. Because we know, Mr. Cardone, that you'll put that money to work. Okay? This guy that gave it to us, all he wants to do is work. I'm like, yeah, send me that money, bro. Send me that money. Okay? And they, by the way, they're not done calling me. They're going to call 9 other people. They're going to take his $100,000 and they're going to say they're going to lend it out $900,000 of it. And this is the banking system. And that is debt, by the way. That US dollar. Okay? They're basically multiplying money. If the bank doesn't keep it, why do you spend all your time giving it to them to keep for you? I'm making $2.4 million a year. If I could figure out how to get another $200, that's called value add, VA, value add. If I could figure out how to raise the rent $200, 531 units. See, that's why the number of units is so important. 531, $106,000 times what? Is what? 1 point. See, that creates another $1,274,000 of income a year. I'm already making $2.4 million a year. Bam! That traffic jam. Okay? I got more cash flow. I don't have to go work. I don't have to beat stuff up. I don't have to go Uber. You guys are, I'm gonna go Uber. To what? What you go Uber to? You end up with $7. Same energy, folks, same energy. Spend the energy going someplace, getting a vehicle that can actually get you to freedom. I don't want money. This money, I've had this money here the whole time, okay? It ain't gonna do anything. How many got money in the bank right now? It's useless. Money is useless until it is put to use. People earn money and then they spend it. And you're just doing this thing. Comes in, it goes out. You have to have multiple exits on the way out. How do I get out of this deal? I know people that have bought real estate that they're like, it cash flows, but they're like, I can never get rid of this piece of property. It's always going to be a problem for me. Hang me around my neck. But it pays me a little bit of money. Okay? Now, if it's only one unit, folks, and it makes you $500 a month, it's still only $500 a month. Everybody agree? That's why you don't want to go small. You got to figure out how to do it big. If you do it big, if you do it right, if you have the right location, the barriers to entry, if you have the cash flow that you need, if you get good debt on it, I promise you, you will not lose money in this space. Warren Buffett said, don't lose money. Number 2, what? Number 3. Exactly. So when I read that, I'm like, don't lose money, don't lose money, don't lose money. What do I invest in? Oh, invest in something that doesn't lose money. Don't speculate. Don't buy stocks. Like, I don't want to trade a piece of paper for a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper. When you go buy $20 worth of Google stock, what do you get? You get a piece of paper back. It's all made up. The kids steal it anyway. Okay, I want something I can see. Would you agree? Okay, I would rather have that money. I'd rather take this money and say, okay, here's $100. Here's $100. I'm going to take the $100 and I'm going to buy a flip chart. This flip chart is more valuable than that $100. If I use it, everybody agree? Yep. Okay, so I want you to write this down. Quit saving money. The banks have brainwashed you. Save your money, save your money, save your money, save your money. The Wall Street also did this. Stay liquid, stay liquid, stay liquid. You want liquidity. No, you do not want liquidity. You want to be illiquid and you do not want to save money. You guys that are just getting started, you're not going to start right here. You're going to start down there, okay? Probably in another city, another town. I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana, no money, raised by a single mother. I was in debt at 25 years old. The first thing that I had to do in my life was not learn a new skill. The first thing I had to do to get my life moving in the right direction was self-development. It is vital, it was vital for me that I improve myself and I could start depending upon me. I had to show up every day with some rituals, some disciplines, and start getting myself to trust me. Not trust others, but trust myself to do the right thing every day. One of the things that I started doing was beating the sun up every morning. I'm gonna beat that sun up every morning so that I have the discipline and the control over my life. So I knew, hey, before that thing pops, I'm gonna pop. I'm gonna get out of bed, depend on myself, get up at the same time every day. And for me, that time, regardless of where I was beat that sun up. No matter where I am, I'm gonna beat that thing up. So it gives me a sense of control over my own life. Second thing, I had to start cleaning up my life and my friends and my environment. When I was younger, between 15 and 25, I was doing crazy stuff in my life. Wasting my weekends. I have the saying, weekends are for the weak. I was drinking, fooling around with a bunch of bad things, bad people, making poor choices. At 25 years old, I cleaned it all up. Quit going to those places, quit using those things, quit hanging out with people that did not have ethics and discipline in their life, that weren't committed to the same things that I was. I wanted to build something in my life. I wanted to become someone. And to do that, to become someone in the eyes of the world, the first thing I had to do was become someone I could depend on. So put some things together, 3 or 4 things you can do every day to start the day, kickstart your day, get going in your day to give you a sense of respect for yourself, accomplishment for yourself. Look, just beating that sun up every morning gives me the sense of accomplishment, that I did what I said I was gonna do, that I woke up when I said I would wake up, and I start building respect for myself, start believing in myself so that I can go out into the world and maybe today when I go into this meeting that I'm dressed for, maybe they'll believe in me as much as I believe in me, and that'll show up in a contract, a deal, maybe even some money.
Because you made it this far in the video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag Believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
For 10 more amazing rules from Robert Kiyosaki, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Humans learn by making mistakes. God designed us so when a baby learns to walk, baby crawls, stands up and falls, then finally takes the first step, and the next thing running, then flying. But what our schools do, when a child falls, they punish them.